All right, guys, welcome back to One Off Outdoors. This is the video that's going to show you how to take this first generation ice chest and make it to where the lid will open and stay open like the second generation. So if you have a 2019, 2020, or 2021, if you'll make this modification, your lid will stay open and not collapse on you. And now the new generation model, if you've seen, they've just made a ridge of plastic that went all the way down here, so that hinge just kind of jumps over it. That lid jumps over it and locks it in place. I'm going to show you what you need to fix this. Now, there's two ways to fix it. This is going to be the simple way. Then I'll show you the more ambitious way at the end of this video. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a drill. You're going to have some of these stainless steel. You want to use stainless steel. Pan head or round head Phillips screws. They're a size 12 and they're a 1/2 inch long. They come 5 to a package and you'll only need 4. You can get these at Lowe's. You're going to need what's called JB Weld. It's a 2-part epoxy. This will come out white. This will come out black. You put an even amount on a piece of cardboard. I always break off the end of a Q-tip and use that to stir it up and then use it to apply. You'll need a marker, a Phillips screwdriver, and then a straight edge. So the first thing, and I've already done this, is you're going to draw a line right down the center of this hinge. Okay, now this is about 3 inches long. Then you're going to come in and you're going to mark a spot right here at 3/4 from the end and 3/4 from the end. You're going to use a 1/8 drill bit to drill out this hole. Now, when you drill out this hole, I want you to notice that there's an aluminum pin that goes all the way through the whole ice chest. And it is pretty shallow. So I'm going to show you just how deep it is. I'm going to put that in there, and that's how far it goes. It doesn't go very far before you hit that pin. So what you're going to have to do with these 1/2 inch screws is, you can see here's on the left a regular 1/2 inch, is you get a grinder, cut the tip off just a little bit, and then re-taper that screw. Now what you'll do is you'll start off and you'll take a regular screw that hasn't been modified yet. You're going to take that screw and you're going to run that in that drilled hole. And what that's going to do is that's going to kind of put you some threads on there and spread it out. Now, you're not going all the way down. You're just going down a little bit to where you're just about to hit that pin, and then you're going to back it back out. Now, at that point, you're going to take one of your shortened screws. You're going to put a washer on it, and you're going to go back, and now you're going to set it in place. Use a lot of down pressure. Press hard. I wouldn't use a drill here. I'd do it by hand. Screw that all the way down, and then come over and do your second one the same way. Getting a lot of down pressure. Then it'll thread itself, and don't over tighten, just get it down nice and snug. Now at this point, this is going to hold this lid open. But what will happen if you don't fill in this screwdriver head right here, this Phillips head, this metal will actually start to cut into your plastic. So that's where the JB Weld comes in. So what you'll do is you'll take some JB Weld, put down just a little bit, doesn't take much. The white comes out of the red tube, and the black comes out of the black tube. You'll stir that together till all the black and all the white's out of the way, and it's just gray. Work time with this is a long time, so you don't have to be in a rush. And then you're just going to get a little bit on the end, and you're just going to come over and you're just going to pack that in. You're going to put that right on top of that screw, right in the head of that. Now what you can do is you can wet your fingertip and use that to kind of pack that down. just like that. And that'll cover that head. Okay, just a small editing part. When I was packing that down, you'll see in the video, I had done, which you'll see later in the video, the long bar covered it. I hadn't done the screws before, and that screw height is actually the right height, so there's not need for any washers. If you pack a little too much of that JB Weld on it, and it feels like it's a little high and that lid's hard to close, you can sand that off. The JB Weld is going to stay in the grooves, that little X, the grooves of the Phillips screws. So you don't have to worry about that coming out, but it's going to stay in there. But in the video, I packed a little bit too much on top, and I had to kind of come back and sand that down. So when you do this part of the application, if you want to just shove that JB Weld into that screwdriver notch and then just wipe off all the excess, so you're looking at the silver screw, but that insert is filled with that gray material, I would probably recommend you just do that. Then if you go to shut it, if it feels like it's not really catching heavy enough, then you can go back and put a little JB Weld on the top of each one, let it dry 24 hours, and see if that added little layer of height is better suited for your live weld, because they'll all have little subtle differences. All right, thanks, guys. And once you see the head is completely covered like that, then you're good to go. Now, you're going to let that dry for 24 hours. And once you do that, you'll lift up your lid. It'll hold it in place. Now, the second thing that I'm going to show you in the next video is it's a little bit more ambitious. And that is, I'm going to take a piece of stainless steel. I'm going to take a 3-inch stainless steel bolt, cut the head off. I'm going to heat it up, and I'm going to lay it right here, and I'm going to let that melt into that, and then cool it down, and then cover that with JB Weld. It works just as well as this. This is just a little bit more ambitious, and you just get that block running all the way down it. I put in 2 screws here. If you're like, well, what if I wanted to put in 3? You could drill this out in the center and put in a 3rd one, and that would be just fine. I think 2 will do it, but if you want to do 3, you're more than welcome to. So let's go back over here and film over here on the ground. What I've done is I've taken a 5/16 stainless steel bolt, cut the head off of it, and this is probably a 1/4 inch shorter on both sides. You'll see it here in just a minute, than that hinge. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to heat this up. I'm not going to get it cherry red hot, but I'm just going to heat it up enough to melt that plastic, and I've got some water to knock that heat down. That's about as hot as I'm going to get it right there. Pick this up with a pair of pliers. Now we're going to bring that over here to this hinge. I've got my water here. And I'm going to set this down right here. You can see I got about a 1/4 inch on each side. And I'm just going to gently push that in there till it goes down about halfway. About right in there. Now I'm going to stop that melting with some water. Cool that off. So it'll stop melting that plastic. Yep, okay, that's got it. Now, on the 22s and up, if you've ever looked at their ice chest, what they have is they've just put in a little plastic ridge right here. I've already done this side. What this is going to do is when this melts, you're not gonna have to caulk this in or anything. This plastic is gonna be all melted into this. Now, okay, so yesterday you all saw me put in the thread right here. One thing I do want to mention is this is a 3-inch hinge. This 5/16 stainless steel bolt that I cut off was a 3-inch bolt. I cut off the head and I put down 2.5 inches. So this is a 2.5 inch stainless steel bolt. I melted it in there. And one thing I want to show you today is I went ahead and put the JB Weld on it, just like the screws you saw earlier. And I wanted to give this 24 hours to dry so you could see me open this up. So again, when you put this JB Weld on here, you can wet your finger, Put that on there and just kind of tap it down real lightly like putty, and you want to cover all of the threads. If you look real close, you can almost still see the threads. You don't want to build it up high. You want it just enough to cover in those threads so it won't cut into your plastic. Now what happens when you open up this lid, it stays open. So I want you to remember, I didn't show you this in the other part of the video. When I put in the 2 screws here, and you might want to put in 3, remember you do that to both sides. So here you can see, here I've got the 5/16 stainless steel bolt melted in to both sides, both covered with JB Weld. So I'm going to open this up, and I want you to look inside here. There's 2 more videos I'm going to make. I'm going to show you how to build all of this, and then in another video, I'm going to show you how to put in this drain plug. This drain plug is going to allow you to drain all this water out. And when you get back to the dock, you're literally going to have 1 quart of water left in here as opposed to the whole 13 gallons. And you can do all that while sitting on your ski in the water, and you just unscrew that cap, put it in there, and it'll start to drain. Thank you all for watching One Off Outdoors, and y'all have a blessed day. Thank you.